Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Anthony Predicts, and today I'm getting back into the swing of things with a very early 2020 election video. So to start off today, I'm going to go with how does President Trump win re-election? Now, as you know, President Trump got elected in 2016. He got about 306 electoral votes. You need 270 to win. President Trump won by flipping the key swing states of the Rust Belt of Michigan, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Those are the three big ones, along with traditional bellwethers such as Iowa and Ohio. See, President Trump, he flipped those three states that have not gone for a Republican since Ronald Reagan or George H.W. Bush. So it's been a long time since he won those states. And there was a very anti-Obama, anti-Democrat momentum on the side. 2020's election is going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be very different, and the circumstances will be different. So today we're going to look at how does President Trump end up winning re-election. So to start off, President Trump is going to start winning all these states, what is usually called the Republican L, where they do very well up across this midwestern part of the country. And over the past few years, there's a lot more kind of Republican toss-up states in the past than there have been, because usually Arizona, Texas, and Georgia are in this list, but those have been becoming more Democratic states. So I'm going to come back to them in a second. President Trump is going to all but certainly get 126 electoral votes. The big problem for Republicans is Democrats usually have an advantage when it comes to the Electoral College. President Trump has changed the map a little bit, but that's still pretty clear. They have a big advantage to it. The only difference is they have one guaranteed in Maine now. President Trump has moved Maine to being a lot more close, but they still pretty much have an advantage there. So, Democrats are going to all but certainly... Hawaii isn't working. It's weird. Democrats are going to have all but certainly 183 electoral votes. Why isn't Hawaii working? Okay. Technical difficulties, I guess. So Hawaii doesn't work. That's new. Alright, well, they're going to go to the Democrat. So, add Hawaii to the Democrats' score at the end of the day. So, there'll be 179 stronger leaning for the strong for the Democrats and 126 strong for the president. So, in my opinion, Texas and Georgia are still likely Republican states. I think they got close in the past midterms, but as we know, midterms don't always indicate how the election is going to go. So I think those, I'll put that in likely column for now. And you know what? I'm actually going to put Arizona there too. Arizona did vote for a Democrat and Kyrsten Sinema, but I don't think the Democratic nominee is going to appeal at a national level the same way that she did during the midterm. So I would still put Arizona in the likely Republican column. Now, that being said, there are some likely Democratic states still. I think Minnesota is definitely a likely Democratic state. New Mexico, I'd put in there. Just checking. Hawaii still doesn't work. That's going to bug me this whole video. And I would say Maine at Maine at large for now, I would still put in that category. In the likely category. Seriously, Hawaii's bugging me. So, 196 to 191. This is the making of a very competitive race. But this video, as I mentioned, is how does President Trump win? Well, the simplest way for President Trump to win is to do this. He's won all the states that Mitt Romney won, so he has to win North Carolina as well. And then President Trump's biggest support is in the traditional swing state of Florida. For a Republican to win in modern times, they pretty much have to win Florida because that's 29 electoral votes, and it makes it a lot easier getting towards 270. So with Florida, he's at 235. President Trump's support in the Rust Belt is what won him last time, and he still holds very good numbers in Ohio and Iowa. So that gets him to 259, where he's 11 electoral votes short. President Trump, and this is very important, is all but certainly going to win Maine's 2nd congressional district again. So that leaves him only 10 electoral votes short. And that's important because, say, for instance, President Trump wins Wisconsin, he gets to 270, all the other states can go to the Democrats. So that's why that one electoral vote in Maine, it may not seem that important, but it is very, very important when it comes down to very close elections like this. So now, of the remaining states, President Trump is not going to win them all. It's literally almost a certainty he's not going to win them all. In my opinion, unless he makes a lot of effort, he's probably not going to win Colorado. Nevada could be, depending on the candidate on the Democratic side, but I would bet now it's probably going to the Democrat side. And Virginia, who knows, this whole governor scandal could make it more close, but President Trump would need to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money there. So I would say Virginia still holds on to the Democratic column. So now the 4 states remaining. All 4 of these could either go to the president or can go to the Democrats. These are how close they were. These are the closest states in 2016. So of these states, which one do I think has the best chance of going to the president? Well, I think the best one is probably Pennsylvania. Because Pennsylvania and Wisconsin are the 2 biggest voter margins for President Trump, but Pennsylvania has also held its approval of President Trump, or rather disapproval. It's been the closest to what it was on Election Day, meaning Pennsylvania, of these 3 Rust Belt states, and New Hampshire, approves of President Trump the most. After that, the second state that approves of him most, I believe, is New Hampshire. So there's a scenario President Trump could win Pennsylvania and New Hampshire this time. But I do think Michigan, President Trump won by 0.3%. There was a high third-party vote percentage, and not to mention Hillary Clinton was not a good candidate. She was a very bad candidate. She didn't appeal to the Rust Belt at all. So I think it's certainly possible for President Trump to win Michigan, but he does start as a mild underdog in that state right now. In Wisconsin, the midterms say one thing, but Michigan and Wisconsin are interesting because during the midterms, they've traditionally been more Democratic, although Scott Walker, who just was governor, who just lost, he has been reelected at midterms a few times, but he just lost this time. So it could be showing signs of a Democrat wave, but those people did vote for President Trump. I don't think they voted for just Republicans in general. I think they voted for President Trump. So Wisconsin certainly could go to President Trump. Let's say for sake of argument it will. That's 294 to 240. Plus Hawaii's 4, which does not want to work. Let's see. Third time's a charm. Nope, still doesn't work. All right. Yeah, so that's President Trump. He gets 294. Democrat candidate has 240. 244 plus Hawaii. So no matter what happens, I don't see President Trump gaining electoral votes this election. I think 2016 was the best he could do. If there's states where he is going to make gains, though, I think it's going to be in New Hampshire, which he lost last time. I think that's a state that was very close that I could see him maybe making a gain in. I could see him maybe, if everything goes his way, like, I mean everything. The Democrat candidate is awful, and like his poll numbers surge. The economy gets even better. Then Virginia, Colorado, Nevada, and Michigan, maybe that could end up going his way. But even still, that's very unlikely at this point, considering how polarized our country is becoming. Based off today, if President Trump wins, I think this is probably the map that it looks like, where President Trump wins Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that he won last time. He loses Michigan, but he does gain New Hampshire. This is how I think President Trump wins, because his support in New Hampshire actually isn't that bad compared to what the national average is. And his approval numbers are around 44 to 45%, depending on the polls. The consensus seems to be around 44 or 45%. And President Obama got reelected with around 44 to 45%. So I think President Trump is actually not in a bad spot to be reelected. Just the media is trying to make it seem like, oh, he's going to fail and crash and burn, because honestly, that's what they want to happen. I mean, Republican or Democrat, you have to admit the media wants him to fail from a political standpoint. From a news point, they want him to keep talking because they absolutely love it. But from a politics standpoint, they want him gone. And President Trump is not in the worst spot for re-election. Could he be better? Yes, he absolutely could be. Could he be worse? Yes, he absolutely could be. So at this day and age, I think President Trump does stand a good chance of being re-elected, for the biggest reason being the economy is still very good right now. If the economy goes bad within the next year or two, then things can get very, very worse. But with the economy being one of the best times it's ever been in U.S. history, I see no reason why President Trump shouldn't be at least competitive going into the 2020 presidential election. And the Democratic primary is also going to be a good indicator, depending on what kind of candidate the Democrats nominate. So thank you for watching. If you liked, please like and subscribe. Please tap the notification bell if you want more. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing more of those videos as 2020 gets closer. I'm also trying to balance it with like sports and stuff because those are two things I find interesting. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.